Hi everyone, this is Sunera again from ItsyBitsy, and I'm here to show you how you can make the most of the ItsyBitsy dies. For example, the lace die, which is a really pretty border die, it has two properties. One is you can cut the outer edge, and then you can emboss the inner design. Now, a lot of you might have been having trouble embossing it, so I'm going to show you how you can create the emboss effect using the Itsy Bitsy accessory cutting pad. It's just 59 rupees and it comes with 10 sheets which are similar to, I would say, OHP sheets or transparencies. They're quite thin and supple and very smooth. And then I'm going to show you how to make a card using this border die. And for that card, the supplies I used was some powder blue cardstock, some ribbon, some pearls, and some pattern paper. So now I've got my Big Shot machine and I'm going to show you how to make the sandwich using the accessory cutting pad. I'm going to take two sheets from the packet and put it on top of the multi-purpose platform. I've chosen to put it on the base, but I think it doesn't really matter where you put it. It really just has to create the desired thickness. Then I'm going to put my first cutting plate on top of that, and I'm going to add my die with the cardstock, making sure the fair side is facing the die cut side. As I run it through my Big Shot, it's actually quite tough to turn because it's fairly thick. You want to make sure it's thick enough to create the embossing effect, but not too thick to totally destroy your Big Shot machine. Now, once I've got it out of the die, I'm going to use a tool to just pop out the little inner sort of holes that are part of this design. It's very nicely cut. It's just sticking to it because it was so neatly pressed when it went through the Big Shot. And to give you an idea of the embossed effect, here's a close-up of what it looked like. Isn't it gorgeous, the final effect? I'm really happy. So now I'm going to get started on the card. I've taken a piece of cardstock and folded it in half to make a 5x7 card. I'm going to use one of the lovely papers from the Cafe Mediterranean mat stack to do up the front facade. I like this pretty yellow flowery design. And then I'm going to take my die cut and I just want to place it on the top and fold the edges back to give it a nice wholesome effect. But as I was looking at it, I noticed that it's got these holes which look almost like ribbon loops. So I thought, why not loop some ribbon through it? Now, to make a needle effect at the edge of your ribbon, the best thing to do is to just tape around the edge as close as possible to the ribbon. And once that's done, it's going to be really easy to thread the ribbon in and out of the die cut or any other ribbon threading project you have. Ribbon can be really flimsy and difficult to work with. So once you've taped the corners or the edges, it's almost like a needle and you can just thread it with ease, quickly, comfortably, without any headache. So I'm just about done with this ribbon threading exercise, and here you go. Here's a close-up of how it looks all threaded up. And next I'm going to just snip off the edges and glue them down using my glue gun. Once the ribbon is in place, I'm just going to put a little more adhesive to adhere it to the back of this lovely meadowy pattern paper from the mat stack. Now I've already done another die cut in the exact same way, which I'm going to add to the bottom because that's kind of the effect I wanted from this card. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just gluing it to the base and folding it around the back. And now that this is done, I can just glue this facade onto my card. Once again, I'm just gluing all four sides of using my glue gun, and I'm going to make it as straight and less crooked as possible. And here we go. Doesn't that look nice and happy? Now this pattern paper has some butterfly kind of design on it, so I thought let me just use the butterfly dies to create some embellishments on top. I'm using some more pattern paper from this mat stack, but what I should warn you is however much you try to emboss, it will not be so visible on pattern paper Reason being, the pattern is what is taking away from the embossing effect. So if you ever use any of the Itsy Bitsy dies, don't get disappointed if you find that that there's not much of an embossing effect. You've got to make sure that the paper is plain for the embossed effect to show. If it's patterned, then the pattern is going to overpower the embossed effect. So now I'm just going to run this through the Big Shot. You've noticed I taped each of the dies in place because I want to make sure that it doesn't shift through the when it goes through the Big Shot. And once that's done, I've got my little butterflies, which I just need to literally peel out of the die because they really got pressed nice and tight inside. I use the piercing tool for that. I mean, I've rarely done much piercing, but I use the piercing tool for so many things like this. I find it a really handy tool. Now, once that's done, what I'm going to do is fold the butterflies a bit and add a few pearls to the center to make their body. I'm using these Craft pearls from ItsyBitsy, and they're really clever because they are graduated, so I can make the head nice and big and the body, graduatingly smaller. I don't think graduatingly is a word, but please forgive me, I'm sure you understand my meaning. So I'm right now on the final butterfly, just adding a few smaller pearls, which are quite difficult to work with. I should get a tweezer for that. And I'm all set to add them to my card. I've already made a sentiment using the same color scheme, so I'm going to put that in the center and let the butterflies literally adorn them. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive, glue it in place. I like this 3D effect to all the cards, and buying butterfly embellishments may not always work because you need to get it to match your project. So what better way to get exactly what you want than with one of the Itsy Bitsy butterfly dies or lace card dies or whatever. So I'm almost finished, just gluing my last butterfly in place, and the card is done. Voila! I'm really pleased with the end result, and mostly I really like this embossed effect on my border. I'm just going to show you the embossed effect. Isn't that lovely? Gorgeous. So that's it from me. Stay tuned for many more tutorials from all of us here at ItsyBitsy. Hope you find this useful. Bye.